Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed. Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day depending on what they can get away with. It doesn't need to be this way. I'm Zahran Mamdani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores, whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you.
Dear New York City, you're cooked. You're cooked. This is this is your new overlord, Lord Zoran, master of the socialist universe. Now, yesterday I put out a X post that stated the following: socialism is the religion of the weak-minded and the lazy-bodied. Socialism goes hard AF for those who are clinically insane. I believe that we should have everything basically for free. Okay, Charlie, how exactly is that going to work? Who's going to pay for that, Charlester? Well, the rich people who are making all the billions of dollars, they need to pay their fair share. So when they pay their fair share, then we are going to get things for free. All right, Charles. So, where are the rich people going to come from? Well, they don't pay their fair share. No. Charles, when the rich people leave because they're no longer incentivized to, build a business, create any sort of infrastructure, create jobs, when they leave your shitty little city and they go to a place that is incentivizing them to be business owners, then where's the money going to come from? Well, it's going to come from my big daddy, sugar daddy government, because big daddy, sugar daddy government loves me and is going to give me some groceries for free. Okay. So where's big daddy government going to get this money in order to create these grocery stores that are going to give you stuff basically for free, or, well, let's be genuine, at a regulated price with no sort of incentive for profit? Well, that's a very, you're a fascist. That's essentially how that conversation goes. I'm a fascist for asking very basic questions. How in the hell is this sustainable? Now, I'm going to go through this video one more time. But before I do, we break this down at a molecular level. We're going to go frame by frame in this one. Socialism, the religion of the weak-minded, feeble-minded even, and the lazy-bodied. All right.
Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed. Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day depending on what they can get away with.
Okay. So let's talk about the pricing in grocery stores. Now, most people may not know this, but grocery stores have one of the lowest margins out of any business model, or at least the mainstream business models that most of us engage in on a day-to-day basis, right? Very thin. I'm talking about cents, pennies on the dollar. That cucumber that you just bought, they're not raking in the cash from that. They're barely breaking even on most products. And what they require, or what they rely on, is volume. The more things they sell, then obviously the more profit they could hopefully create. Now, let's say that, cucumber cost 10 cents for the grocery store to purchase from the farmer, or at least from the farmer to the trucker to then being shelved or at least housed in a grocery store. Let's say it costs 10 cents, right? And they charge 20 cents for it in order to make a 10-cent margin. That's 100% increase. That's fascism. No, it's a margin. Let's say you take away that 10-cent margin and you just say 10 for 10, right? There's zero profit. Now that profit is supposed to go into the business, which is then going to hire individuals, which is then going to allow for business to actually stay open, right? For the operation costs, overhead prices, the refrigerators that are keeping things cool, electricity bills, all of that has to be factored into that 10-cent margin, which no longer exists because now, well, it's just, dollar for dollar. Now you got to think to yourself, who's buying that produce? If it's government owned, if the state owns it, who's actually going to buy? The government. Okay, the government. So that's, that's us, the taxpayer. The taxpayer is the one who was paying for the damn cucumber in the first place. So you pay for it through higher taxation, right? So you're paying for it. Now you think to yourself, well, I mean, if nobody's incentivized to, let's say, create grocery stores, just one business model, and he's looking to push a lot of this free stuff for childcare, et cetera. If nobody's incentivized, there's no competition necessarily. How are people going to make that money? Well, we're going to tax the billionaires. Okay, fantastic. How about when those billionaires no longer find it advantageous to stay, then you no longer have 41 to 45% of your tax base, because 1% of the population pays about 40 to 45% of your taxes every year, right? And the poorest people pay less than, I believe, 1% of the overall taxes. So you're not creating a larger percentage of poor people. You take away more and more of your 1% who are now being taxed greater and greater amounts, right? Just being punished essentially for being industrious. They leave. You now have more and more poor people who you have to tax more and more, so they become poorer. But your grocery store is okay. So now they can't afford the groceries. So you have to now make the groceries even cheaper. So nobody's making profit. The farmer can't sell to you because they literally are going to lose their farm because they can no longer produce, because now you're undercutting them. You can't afford it anymore. So they're out of business. Truckers are now out of business because there's nothing to truck. You now have empty shelves. Your grocery store is closed. Socialism is fun. Now, I want to get into the rest of this video, obviously, but before I do so, I just want to go ahead and show y'all this. Is real quick. Just came up to mind right now. Real quick. This is the response of this Lord Zoran character. This is how the white liberals in New York are currently feeling. Just in case you thought that this was some fringe thing, or, that they're all fighting against us. No. He's in office, or he got voted into his position for a reason.
Democratic socialists fucking win elections, you fucking Democrats. Listen the fuck up. I need y'all to go on an FDR generational run with this man. I need y'all to legalize being born in Uganda, and you could be president right the f*** now.
So that's how they feel about their Lord Zoran. So let's continue this and see if we have any other things to point out. And then I want to get into the solution aspect, which ironically is going to come directly from Zoran's opposition. The guy who now everybody is crying out to please take over. Seems that common sense tends to kick in once the soup lines make their way into your city. All right. So where were we?
Doesn't need to be this way. I'm Zahran Mamdani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores.
Yep.
It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets.
Redirect city funds. We're going to take money from the people who are actually producing, creating, building, and we're going to pour it into what we're doing, i.e. tax money.
Markets to city-owned grocery stores whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent.
So there's going to be no profits made for anybody except for Lord Zoran, of course.
We'll pass on those savings to you.
Look at those eyes. Those eyes say everything right there. That is your Lord Zoran. So I want to get into this video right here for the sake of inspiration as much as, you know, the overarching message that we're getting into today. But yeah, I just thought, wow. Imagine if America came back to this. Like, New York used to be the city of dreams, you know, the American dream, aspirational figures, make something of yourself. When that Mayflower made its way over, settlers came in and thought to themselves, we're going to make something of this. And now here we are. I want free shit. Yeah, Lord.
This is a city not of socialism. No. I've been to socialist countries. This is a city where you could come as a dishwasher and you could own a chain of restaurants. This is a city where you can be a cab driver and then become a doctor. This is a city where you could go from homelessness to building housing. This is a city where you could be a young person who's dyslexic, a young person who was rejected, and eventually to be elected to be the mayor of the city of New York. This is the type of city we're in. This is not a city where you use idealism to state you're giving everything to everyone for free. There's no dignity in someone giving you everything for free.
Let that man cook. Ever since you left the Democratic plantation, Mayor Eric, you've been cooking.
Dignity in giving you a job so you can provide for your family and the opportunities that you deserve. So this is not a city of handouts. This is a city of hands up. We're going to lift up the city of New York. And so I'm asking you, New Yorkers, to continue to stand with me as we move this city in the right direction. I'm ready to be your mayor again.
Now, Eric Adams is an individual who has made his way from the Democratic plantation to becoming more of an independent, even more right-leaning, and rightfully so. You know, once your own government comes after you, you tend to think things through a little deeper. Let's just put it that way. But New York City has been on this trajectory for a while, and honestly, it is an overall symbol of where we are currently as a nation. You know, we talk about the divide that's taken place. There's so much divisiveness, etc. But I believe there's only two camps. There's one that stands for what America has always stood for, which is freedom, whether that's religious freedoms, whether that is economic freedoms, or political freedoms. And then there are those who look to destroy those freedoms, i.e. the communist sort of socialist regimes. And I can throw in the jihadist ideology as well. This militant, like we're going to destroy everything else that is not us. I believe in free speech. I believe everybody's ideas should be explored and then the best idea should win. I don't believe in bullying those out. And that's what the socialist regime is looking to do. It has since the very beginning. It's been like Mayor Eric Adams said, it's been an idealized sort of utopian idea because it's the best way to package control. You don't sell control to somebody by saying, hey, I've got some control for you. We're gonna rule over you now. No, you say we're gonna give you a bunch of free stuff. Free bread, yay, free beer, yay. Now you're sedated, now you're lazy, now you're fat, now you're not doing anything. You're not actually standing up for yourself. You're not doing something productive. We're going to give you we're going to give you the jobs. You can have all the best benefits in the world. Everything's for free. Yay, 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 yay. And then in the background, who do you think is profiting from that system? Every system is a hierarchy at some level. You either have a hierarchy of the productive and the merited individuals who are going to be climbing up the ranks. Those who people are perceiving as having value that they're creating in their environment, or you're going to have those who bully everybody else, who take from them and keep for themselves. Socialism is the religion of the lazy and the weak. And we have to combat this mentality because as you saw with the young woman that I showed y'all prior, There are millions of hers. This is AOC's New York. The socialists, the social media socialists, the comment section communists are rampant. And the only way we combat it is with better ideas and the execution of those ideas. We continue to be America first. What does that mean? I never believed America first meant America only, because you have to work with people who are going to have your best interest, or at least you work with others for your own best interest. The isolationist has never worked. It has never worked. It's like in business. You can't be an island upon you need clients, you need customers, you need vendors, you need producers of other things. Even me, I may be ISO as far as how I'm making my content right now, but I need a YouTube, I need a TikTok, I need you as a participant within this relationship. We all need each other. I need the manufacturer of these devices, etc. We all work together to produce the end goal or the end result. That is the beauty of the American dream. I believe that it still exists because you have the opportunity to build something that you can't build most other places in the world. And if you don't believe that, then I would suggest trying another alternative. If you're truly a socialist, truly a communist, I would suggest booking the first ticket out of here and going home. I would. And then I'll likely see you back in the next week. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.